Yes, very comfortable.
Like yeah. Hey guys, welcome to another one of our live session where we spend a good hour answering all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. And we decided to answer your question about traveling in New Zealand because we consider ourselves a little bit experts of New Zealand travel. But why is that, Laura?
Well, this is Robin and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide, and it's got thousands and articles of thousands and thousands of free articles for you guys to check out and plan your trips to New Zealand, whether you're just doing a couple of weeks, doing a camper van road trip around the country, or whether you're spending a whole year doing a working holiday and need a few advice, sort of finding out how to get jobs in New Zealand. We do all that sort of thing on nzpocketguide.com. So make sure to check that out. And it's a good place to start your research for your trip to New Zealand. But if you're not really into reading, we also do this live Q&A session on YouTube every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. So you guys can come and ask your questions and we can answer you in this video format, which is generally a bit more fun to do. You can come onto the live chat and ask your questions straight away. Or during the week, you can put a comment in any of our videos and we pull those together, print them off the computer just like this. And we go through those as well during this live Q&A session. So everyone's questions get answered. And yeah, it's a good way to get your sort of personal questions answered as well.
Exactly.
And also, just so you know, for times around the world, like I say, it's 8 a.m. New Zealand time on a Sunday. But if you're in the UK and France, that's 7 or 8 p.m. on a Saturday evening. In the US, that is 2 p.m. EST or 11 a.m. PST. In India, that is on a Sunday morning, bright and early at 12:30 a.m. And in Australia, that is 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
Can't get myself comfortable.
I know, you're going everywhere. What's going on?
All right, guys. So while you guys are getting warmed up and sending us all your questions right now on the live chat, I'm just going to address the coronavirus situation in New Zealand because obviously we are receiving a lot of questions about that at the moment. So I don't want to act like crazy medias that are just running sensational stories. I'm just going to give you the information straight away from the Ministry of Health of New Zealand as well as from Immigration New Zealand, just to know what is the situation in New Zealand and also how does it affect you as a traveler. So let's get started with the Ministry of Health. So the COVID-19 novel coronavirus, there are currently outbreaks overseas of a new disease called COVID-19. This section provides the latest updates and information on COVID-19. All right, let's go over the current situation in New Zealand. The 5th case of COVID-19 has been confirmed in New Zealand. With continued vigilance, the chance of widespread community outbreak is expected to remain low. People coming into New Zealand should check our information for travelers arriving to New Zealand, as they may be subject to border control or asked to self-isolate. We will cover that in a minute. We're also asking people who have visited countries or areas of concern and who have been developing symptoms of fever, cough, shortness of breath to seek medical advice. The phone health line dedicated to the COVID-19 number, and that's just for New Zealand, it's 0800 358 5453. You can also contact your GP, which is general practitioner, and you can also call them ahead before your visit, which is always a bit better. All right. So only 5 cases in New Zealand is not that bad. We're doing well. All right. Advice for travelers. All right. So basic principles to avoid from the World Health Organization. So while you've been traveling and also when you are, keep on changing environment and everything, here's how to avoid getting the virus. Avoid close contact with people suffering acute respiratory infections. Wash your hands frequently, especially after contact with ill people or their environment. Avoid contact with sick farm animals or wild animal. And maintain distance, basically, if you see anyone that's coughing and everything. All right, so if you are a New Zealander currently overseas, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade urge all New Zealanders living in, visiting, or traveling to mainland China, Iran, Northern Italy, or the Republic of Korea to register on the Safe Travel website. This means that they're going to receive information and updates. For travelers that recently returned from mainland China or Iran, the government has announced temporary restrictions on travel arriving in New Zealand from mainland China or Iran as a precautionary measure to protect against the spread of COVID-19. Now, that also means that if your flight is transiting through mainland China, then you are actually restricted. So be aware of that. If you are planning to come to New Zealand, try to pick another route. The restrictions prevent foreign nationals traveling or transiting through mainland China or Iran from entering New Zealand. This measure will be in place until Tuesday, 10th of March at this stage, and that will be reviewed every 48 hours. This is expected to be extended again very soon. People who are exempt from the temporary restrictions are New Zealand citizens, including the 3 countries of the realm, which is Tokelau, Niue, and the Cook Islands, and also permanent residents and their family. Australian citizens are exempted, and air crews, if they have been using the proper protective equipment. And people which are exempt from these restrictions, so even New Zealanders which are coming to New Zealand, are requested to self-isolate for 14 days after their return. Self-isolation means you should avoid situations that could facilitate the transmission of the virus, such as social gathering and events like concerts, where you can come into contact with others, in particular child, pre-care, school, and older people. If you recently traveled or returned from Northern Italy or the Republic of Korea, you should self-isolate for 14 days after the return. And that's basically it. In short, don't bother with Italy, Korea, and China, and just focus on coming straight to New Zealand. A good port of transfer is Dubai. It's quite popular in the Emirates as a big transfer, so just fly through here.
You could also go via the US as well.
Yeah, you
Los
can also
Angeles,
go via the US.
If you're coming from Europe.
Yeah, I'm just looking if there's anything else important because I don't want to bore you for too long. But no, that is pretty much it. So don't transit through Iran's mainland China. And also there is actually a section about the Diamond Princess cruise ship, but I guess this not really apply to many people. But if you were a passenger or the crew on the Diamond Princess cruise ship, you have to self-isolate for 14 days, and then you can request to come into New Zealand. So here you go. That's the situation as of this week on the coronavirus affecting travelers in New Zealand. As per how New Zealand is going right now, it's pretty much day to day. There is a bit less travelers in the country, that's for sure, because there is less air travel and less of that. So we have seen a little bit of a difference, but that just means that most of the tours and the activities are a bit less crowded. So as a traveler there, it's pretty good. And I don't think that's going to affect you too much as long as you don't transfer between your flight. Like if you have a transfer through mainland China, then at that point, definitely change your flight. If you have one through Iran, change your flight. And if you have been to Northern Italy, that's bad luck because I think you're going to have a hard time coming into New Zealand. But that's pretty much it. Otherwise, we haven't seen, like being in New Zealand, right? There is no panic or anything. Don't trust the media. It's absolutely fine. There only been 5 cases. And that's pretty much it. All right. If you have any questions of your own, put them in the comments below, and we're here to answer all your questions every week. My throat is a bit...
Yeah.
Can you read what people say, please?
Of course. So we have Hiroshi who's saying, "Hey guys, how are you? Hope all is good." Hey, we know that you've just arrived in New Zealand, so we're pretty excited to see, to hear how it's going. And yeah. Also,
are you still in Te Puke? I think you were in Te Puke. Are you still there? Mr. Faradi says hi and 20 million emoji. He's back.
Stone Skin,
back.
aka Stone Skin.
Christine Martini say, "Morning, where are the best places to see kiwi birds?" Hey, Christine, we actually have a video where we actually rank all our favorite places to see kiwi birds. So to find this video, you just search on YouTube, you just type kiwi birds and then NZ Pocket Guide, and you'll find us ranking. I think we rank about 10 of them, about something like that, 10 of them, both kiwi birds in captivity as well as kiwi birds in the wild. So we give you a bit of a wide variety, which is quite cool. But if I have to pick one from the top of my head right here, I will try to go see a wild kiwi bird. And to do that, I will head to Stewart Island, which is at the bottom of the South Island. You can do some awesome hike there, especially amazing multi-day hike. And you can find a video of us actually doing a flight above Stewart Island, landing on the beach, being dropped off there, and then walking away kind of back and then hopping onto a boat. And that was an overnight experience. And on day 2 of this experience, actually, we did spot a kiwi bird in the wild, which was quite cool. So yeah, that would be the one I pick. Which one would you pick? If you
obviously, if you're trying to find a kiwi bird in the wild, there's always an element of luck because it's not very easy to spot kiwi birds in the wild, considering that they are nocturnal and pretty elusive.
Yeah.
So if for an alternative option, I would go to somewhere like Rainbow Springs, which is in Rotorua, and they have an actual sort of kiwi sanctuary there where they it's a hatchery basically. So they take eggs from the wild and sort of protect them. They're in a safe environment to basically hatch. Wait until they're about, I think, 1 kg in weight, the chicks. And then that means that they're usually strong enough to go back into the wild and, be able to fend off predators that are in New Zealand's forests. So,
and they're so cute.
Yeah,
They
so
are
basically
so
that's
cute.
a good, but Rainbow Springs is a good place to see kiwi chicks, and you usually get to see, learn lots about kiwi birds as well, because it's pretty impressive. I think they're the bird that has the largest egg in comparison to its body mass.
Body ratio,
So you can learn a lot at Rainbow Springs as well.
Yeah, so here you go. That's the 2 one that come from the top of our head. Watch the full video, Christine, if you can, because you will have much more option, and maybe you'll find an option that fits better with your itinerary around New Zealand, because you may just not go to those 2 places that we mentioned. So maybe you'll find something along the way. What is happening on the live chat? Hero says, "I will take a shower, but I'm still listening." Well, just be careful, don't sleep or something. Clay says, "Good morning, guys. Hokitika has a good place to see kiwi birds." Yeah, that's true.
They do have a kiwi sanctuary sort of hatchery type thing there as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's much smaller than most, but it also gives you a bit more of an intimate experience. It's pretty cool as well.
And just so you know, Hokitika is on the west coast of the South Island.
What she said.
Just an extra info there.
Yeah.
A bit of context.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so while you guys are popping some more questions for us, we are going to go through questions that we received throughout the week. So the way you can ask us questions is by dropping it in any comment of our videos, and then we pick them up and we answer them for you. So this is for Kathleen. Kathleen is a little bit panicking right now because her question starts with "help" in capital letters.
All right. So Kathleen says, "Help. Okay, I've applied for a working holiday visa in New Zealand. I still have to pay the application fee. Question, how long do I have to pay this? And does it mean that my application technically hasn't gone through? Now, second question, will the NZ government ask me before going to New Zealand for proof of funds via application email? I'm so worried as I have nothing right now, but by June I will have enough. I leave in August, hopefully. How does this work? Help."
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the working holiday visa. So first up, Kathleen, you have not applied for a working holiday visa yet, since you haven't paid the fee. Unless you pay the fee, you have not applied for the visa. Nothing has gone through. You may just have saved a few information on the website, and that is it. So you're not in line to get your visa. Nothing has started for you. So yeah, when you do the application for the working holiday visa, and we do have a full guide on how to apply for the working holiday visa on nzpocketguide.com. So if you go on nzpocketguide.com and then you click on work in NZ, and then you have work visas, is that correct? Or visas?
Yeah.
And then you have like something like work or visas. You click on there, and then you have like literally we guide you step by step on how to apply for this visa. Now, when you do the whole application, unless you have paid, it's not validated in their system, and there is absolutely no way you're getting a visa unless you have paid for it. So you absolutely need to pay for it in order for it to be processed, or to anything, for anything to get started. So that's the first part of your question. Now you're asking about when is the New Zealand government asking for proof of some of your funds and that you meet some of the visa requirements. So it's kind of up to them to decide how they want to do it. For example, some people from the UK have to provide a medical X-ray if they stay for longer in New Zealand.
Up to 2 years.
See, if they stay for 2 years, so you have to provide some medical check and everything, and all of that has to be provided before you arrive in New Zealand. So it kind of depends, and it's on the case by case. Some people are not even asked for any of that. Now, for the proof of fund, from what we know, most of the time, all of that is actually asked when you enter the country. They also don't ask everyone. So you may, when you arrive in New Zealand at immigration checking, they're going to check all your paperwork and everything. They may not ask you anything and say you pass on. And there's a lot of people that report that nothing has been asked to them. But we also have a lot of people that report that they have been asked a lot of questions. Sometimes they even ask their cell phone so they can check some of their messages to see if they're not here to kind of completely immigrate to New Zealand or anything like that. Some people say they have been requested a proof of insurance because with a working holiday visa, you are obligated to have a medical and travel insurance for the length of your stay in New Zealand. So you've got to do that as well. And same thing, we have a full article on that on NZPocketGuide.com to help you find like a cheap and good one as well. And also for the proof of funds, you will need to provide a bank statement, which is dated and stamped from your bank, and show them that you have the funds. From what we've understood, showing your, the available fund on your phone app, on your bank phone app or anything like that, or your credit card line or anything like that, doesn't work or cause a bit of extra trouble and extra thing like that. So be aware that having an actual paperwork from the bank is actually way better. So you can show, your bank statement basically. So they usually ask that from you when you enter the country. So when you enter the country, you get off the plane, you do there's plenty of little steps and everything. And one of the steps is going through immigration. That's when you show your passport to show you either have a visitor visa or this and that. And that's when you actually give the information about your working holiday visa and all that. So as of now, our gut feeling is that you can definitely apply right now. You have to pay. And I think that you will be asked your proof of fund when you enter New Zealand. So if you do have the available amount of money by August when you plan on entering the country, you should be good. Now, note that the 4,200 New Zealand dollars required for, as a condition to get your working holiday visa in New Zealand is very much a minimum. We strongly recommend, and throughout the entire website, nzpocketguide.com, we give you a ton of tips, and we strongly recommend to have 5,500 New Zealand dollars or more, and that's on top of having your flight and your insurance already paid for. New Zealand is a little bit expensive, and you will be surprised by how much money you actually want to have.
Yeah.
Anything to add on that?
I just think maybe just an addition to that is that when you are thinking, when is the best time to actually apply for a working holiday, I always think that you need to be able to pay for the application. Like, the application process is very quick. It'll only take you maybe about 20 minutes to do the online form and send it through. So I think like the best time to actually do your working holiday visa application is actually when you have the funds to pay for the application fee, because it really is a waste of time to do the application, get to the part where you need to pay the fee, not send it through. Then next time when you do have the funds, go through the whole application thing again. Although it will save a lot of information on the website, I just think it's best to actually have the funds available when you're applying for your visa, because that's really what counts. Is it's not actually, your application hasn't actually gone through until you've paid. So make sure that you have the funds available to actually apply for the working holiday visa, which I think for most countries it's just over 200 New Zealand dollars. But there are some countries where sometimes it's free to apply, like in the US. It's free to, if you're a US citizen, it's free, so you don't have to pay over $200 to do it. But there are just some slight variations on how much it is to actually apply for the working holiday visa.
All right, here you go. If you find this video useful, hit like because it really helps us, and it's free for you to say thank you for all our hard work. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to, and best of all, you can actually ask your own question. If your name is not Kathleen, you can put it in the comments of any of our videos or even on the live chat right now. Thanks for watching. All right, what do we have? So, Christine, I'm going to go through every single one of your comments, guys, so don't panic. We are falling a little bit behind right now. So Christine says, with the COVID-19 scare, so with the coronavirus scare, has it affected the supply at the stores, like for toilet paper and antibacterial wipes or sanitizer? In Hawaii, a lot of places are sold out. No, I mean, we literally went shopping yesterday, and there was plenty of toilet paper. We if you want to know, we did buy toilet paper yesterday. Oh, hey.
We didn't hoard it all, just so you know.
We just bought the supply we need.
Yeah.
I think New Zealand people are pretty relaxed. You know, there is always pictures of some people holding this or that. It's fine. As mentioned at the beginning of this video, when I read all the statements from the governments and everything like that, and our own experience, there's been no big effect on that at all. In the country. So far, so good. I can't speak for, how crazy people are going to be next week. So come back next week and ask again. But so far, we are okay.
Yeah.
Extreme Talota, say Morena, from the Timberland in Tokora. So Morena means good morning. And Tokora is actually a really cool place. When you drive through it, guys, you're going to see some massive carving, like some really big kind of sculptures carving. Some of them are a bit creepy. I love it.
Yeah.
Like if you drive at night, some of them, they are really eerie. I love that
I think they also have a statue of I think he's like a timber logger. Yeah, they have a few statues in town, and they do have a lot of fast food restaurants as well. If you need a road trip snack,
I think almost every traveler in the country at some point have stopped in Tokora and grabbed a bit of a meal. So Tokora, like geographically, Tokora is how far is it from like Hamilton, for example? Like
I think it's about maybe an hour to an hour and a half below Hamilton.
So it's about an hour and a half south from Hamilton, and you pass through here if you head toward Taupo or if you head toward Rotorua.
Yeah.
Mr. Faraday says, am I allowed to set up a tent and camp anywhere in New Zealand? Is there any restrictions and laws? Yes, there is a lot of them, and that's why we have so many videos about freedom camping in New Zealand. So please type freedom camping on YouTube and type NZ Pocket Guide afterwards, or type freedom camping in our YouTube channel and you'll find all the videos about that. I think going through all of that right now will take us a whole hour.
Yeah, we'll just give you the short answer is that you need to camp in a campsite or a holiday park. You can't camp anywhere. It has to be a designated camping area.
Yeah. Christina Holden says, good afternoon from Canada. Hey! Canada.
Hey.
What is the best place to learn more about the Maori culture? So we do have a video about our favorite Maori experiences in the country. So you can type even just the word Maori on our YouTube channel, or type Maori and then NZ Pocket Guide, and you both see us doing the experience, literally video of us doing the experience, and also see us kind of ranking them. But if I have to pick one right now from the top of my head, I think I will pick the Tamaki Maori village in Rotorua. I think it's a pretty complete experience. It's a bit showy, like it's a bit more, it's definitely a show, and it's definitely catered to the tourist. But you get to, like, what I really like is that there is the pofiri, so kind of like a bit of a welcoming ceremony, and then after you walk through the forest and this mock-up Maori village, but you talk to actually Maori people along the way, and you can ask them questions about different kind of area. You have like a game that the women are playing. You have like some which are next to the waka, which is a waka canoe, and you can just literally ask them any questions about that. And it's kind of really cool. Like you have, let's say, about between half an hour and an hour, kind of you go through all those different little sections, and I think it's pretty cool. And I think if you want to learn about the Maori culture, being able to ask whatever you want is pretty good. But there is a lot of other places to learn about the Maori culture. I mean, there is the up north where they signed the treaty, Waitangi, sorry.
Yeah.
I have to say the word treaty and then I remember Waitangi, but if I don't say treaty, I'm like, what is the place? What's if you had to pick one, which one?
Yeah, I think there's a really cool one in Hokianga, which is in Northland, and this there's a company called Footprints Waipua, and they take you into a really ancient forest which has like some of the largest trees in New Zealand called kauri trees, and it sort of gives you a sort of overview of the Maori sort of connection with the land and sort of a bit of history there as well. And that's sort of a more laid back tour. It's not about putting on like a show with like dancing and singing. You're just with a Maori guide who just sort of shares some stories, sort of also talks in the Maori language as well when saying like a prayer going into the forest. So there's just like, it gives you maybe more of what feels more of an authentic Maori experience, I'd say.
It was really exceptional too. Actually, you can see us same thing. Do the video. So we do the tour. You can see a whole video of us doing that. So you have 10 minutes of us doing the whole tour. So you get a good understanding of what the tour is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that helps you pick a place, Christina. But again, watch all our other videos. Literally just type the word Maori on our channel and you'll find so much because we think it's really amazing culture to discover. Mr. Faraday gives us some more emojis. So I
couldn't make out what those emojis
he says,
were.
He's sleeping and snow. Can you sleep in the snow? No, don't sleep in the snow, I guess.
Yeah.
Why in the world says good morning, backpacker guide. It's NZ Pocket Guide now, mate.
Yeah.
But good morning. How are you doing? How is Christchurch? Are you cold yet or not too cold? Baby Burns say, hey guys, thinking of going there again in August. Already watched your video about that, but not really sure. What do you think? Will it be cold, safe to drive? New Zealand in August, it's winter. Honestly, I like it. I personally like the fact it's less crowded. New Zealand is wet all year round. I mean, at the moment, we have had a bit of a drought right here. So, yeah, it wasn't wet for a little bit, but it's quite rare.
It was, definitely an exception.
There's always rain in New Zealand. As per the weather, we have a full video about all the weather in August.
That's probably the one
that's why you're mentioning, yeah. But so we have all the different regions with that, and you'll see that it's pretty even, and you can have like half the days with rain and half the day without rain. I think it's definitely worth the trade to kind of have like almost every activity in discounted price, the rental in discounted price, accommodation discounted price, and have the whole country to yourself. Yeah, I think August is an amazing time to travel, and actually we're going to be traveling a little bit this August again, so I think it's pretty awesome. Yeah. Anything you want to add? Should you go? Is it easy to drive in August?
Yes, it's easy to drive. The only time you might encounter snow, say on the road, is if you're going over mountain passes or if you're going up to ski fields. But most of the country is actually pretty close to the coast, and that's where the main like tourist routes around New Zealand go. So for most cases, people, even driving in August, avoid going in the snow. But if you know you're going maybe across the Southern Alps in the South Island, or if you know you're going to head up to a ski field, then it's best to make sure your car rental includes some snow chains, which you probably won't have to use, but it's always just handy just in case.
Wait, if you make sure that your car rental includes chain, make sure you know how to put the chains on.
Yes.
You can see that so often along the road, people that are in a car rental and then they are there for about half an hour trying to put it on. Just learn how to put the chains on if you feel like you're going to need the chains. It's really easy to learn, but if you have to kind of figure it out on the go when you're cold and maybe it's raining and it's just so painful. Like you can just it's so wonderful if you know how to put it on. You're like, bam, 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 it's all sorted. Literally, I put chain in 3 minutes, and it's just so much better.
Yeah.
Actually, 3 minutes may be a bit long, but no, I put chains really quickly. Okay, what is happening? Why in the world was answering to Stones, Mr. Faraday, and Mr. Faraday says, thank you. Aditya Dash says, how's Wanganui like? Wanganui is a nice little town. You can see some videos on the channel of us going to the market there, going to some museums, going to visit the town. There's a lot to do there. Now, know that you may want to search both Wanganui and Whanganui. So Wanganui, it will be, like you spelled it right now, but you can also do WH. And that's about the same. This is the same town. It's just two different spelling. So I think we put it with an H on the channel. Do we?
I think on the channel, yes, we do.
So if you want to search our channel, you put WH and Anganui, and you'll find all our videos on the subject. It's a pretty cool town. I think you're going to really like it if you get there. I'm guessing you're asking that because you're about to go study there. There's plenty of students over there. You're going to love life there.
Yeah.
Why in the world says, question, have the hateful opportunists decided to leave you alone now on your White Island video as enough time passed? Yeah, people move on to something else. They talk about the virus now.
Yeah.
And then he says, yes, it's getting cold in Christchurch. Well, brace yourself, it's going to get colder. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to going to Christchurch in the winter. It's always cold. Christina Holden says, thank you so much for all you do. We have been watching a lot of your videos, and I will check out the Maori ones. Can't wait until October. Good on you, Christina. Actually planning your trip a few months in advance. I like that.
Yeah.
So often we receive questions of someone saying, I'm coming to New Zealand in 1 week. Oh, I think you're a good person. On top of it, she's Canadian, and I like Canadian. We have a question for you, Christina. you are planning to travel around New Zealand, so you're probably going to have a bag or a backpack. Where would you stick your Canadian flag? Because every Canadian traveling around the country has a Canada flag somewhere on themselves. So will you put it on your backpack? Will you have a hat with the flag either here or here? What's going to be your take on wearing your Canada flag? Because we know all the Canadians always love to show that, because you have to tell people you're not American. And I get that. And so tell us where you're going to put your Canada flag. This side, Denise say, how's the Tauranga about living and works? Isn't it safe for girls? Pretty much all of New Zealand is safe for girls. Let's be honest. There is very, very limited amount of incidents in New Zealand about that. Tauranga is a really cool place. It's on the coast. There is a lot of students. There is also a lot of part-time jobs available because it's really touristic, and it's also very close to a lot of the different farming areas, especially for growing kiwi fruit. If you want to find a job, it's very easy because there are working hostels. And if you want to learn more about Tauranga, we have about 4 or 5 videos about explaining life, work, and traveling in Tauranga. So if you type Tauranga NZ Pocket Guide on YouTube, I feel like I've been saying that a lot, but a lot of those questions right now, I think that we already had.
We just happen to have done videos answering all of these questions.
To be fair,
far.
I think we have about 850 videos on the channel. So we've answered a lot of questions. But yeah, Tauranga is really awesome, mate. You're going to love it. Mick L says, hi, Laura and Robin. I love when they say Laura first. It's so much nicer.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, of course. The vacation is approved. Yay! The flight and the motorhome is booked.
Woohoo!
Now, only the planning of an itinerary for 6 weeks remain. November plus December are set for our next New Zealand visit. Oh, cool. To be able to plan, I mostly read all the content from your page, and so most of your videos. A great collection. Boom! Cool. You're very welcome, Michael. Michael, how do you get 6 weeks off work, though? I mean, that's impressive.
That's a good amount of time to travel New Zealand.
Yeah.
I always recommend trying to spend as much time in New Zealand as possible because there really is so much to do. So, yeah, I think that's really good that you've managed to get 6 weeks to do that. Good on you.
And that will give you time as well to kind of explore some area. When you have less time, you kind of like zoom past a lot of places, you know? But if you do have extra time, you can actually settle, like, let's say, in Rotorua. We just talked about Rotorua. Let's say you stay in Rotorua for about 4 or 5 days, and then you have time to do more than just one activity and see really what the whole place is all about. And let's say you're planning on doing the Tongariro crossing, which is one of the most, famous hike. And like Laura going to the crossing a couple of weeks ago, you will be able to actually do it for sure, because if it's cancelled because of weather or anything like that, you have an extra day, you have a little bit more leeway. So I think it's really good. It's a really good idea. But don't worry, Laura has done the crossing many times. It was just this one.
We're just referring to, like, last week I tried to do the Tongariro crossing and the weather was so bad when we were getting quite high up that we had to turn around. So yeah, sometimes the weather can just change on you so quickly, and you have to make a call whether you think it's going to be safe to keep on going or you should turn back. And we decided in that instance that after we were absolutely soaking wet, it was freezing cold at the top, we were like, we're probably not going to, we couldn't even see anything because it was just, everything was white. We were probably like, it's probably safer to turn around.
Yeah. Winowall says, you're coming to Christchurch in winter. I want to come to my place for tea or something. We'll do a bit of a bar meetup. We'll pick a venue and we'll tell people that we're going to be there, and join us, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We probably will be doing that because we have already like a lot planned on the itinerary. We kind of like are the victim of our own success, and there is a very long list of things that we need to do in Christchurch because we need to update the website and take new pictures and all that. But yeah, we definitely will catch up there. Baby Burn Z says, well, thanks guys, you're the best. I've been watching a lot of your videos. Haven't sure about going in August, but convinced now. Ho ho.
Ho ho.
Ho ho. Ho. Okay. Baby Burns is actually the YouTube handle of Santa Claus then. That is scary. Yeah, cool. No, seriously, you're gonna like New Zealand in August. Especially you're gonna like the prices there. JT say, if traveling as a tourist, do I only need an NZDT to travel? Yeah. you need either that, or if you're from a country that need a tourist visa, you will need your tourist visa. So it depends on which country you're from. Now, the Immigration New Zealand website, which is immigration.govt.nz, has a really easy tool. Like you when you arrive on the site, it has like a search and everything, and you can say like how you want to, why you want to travel in New Zealand. So you put visit because you want to visit as a tourist, and then you put like your country, and it tells you everything you need to know right on the spot. So it's one of the easiest things to use. So you may want to head onto that website. So it's immigration.govt.nz. So like that, you have 100% sure answer for you. But yeah, technically you just need the NZDT. Baby Burnsy says, went there last year on May, also by learning from your video. I think August going to be a lot colder, but I'm down for an adventure. Yeah, it's definitely going to be way colder. But, it gives you a different side of New Zealand. If you see New Zealand in May, you may want to see the winter. The landscape will change a lot, especially with the snow and all that, especially in the south end, and you're going to love that.
Yeah. Also, as long as you're prepared with lots of warm clothing and stuff, you will probably not even care about how cold it is as long as you've got warm clothing on. And honestly, I always love traveling in the low season, i.e. the season that's got the least tourists, because like Robin says, it always feels like you're at places and you've got the whole place to yourself. So it's definitely one of my favorite times to visit New Zealand or to travel in New Zealand.
JT says, traveling in a camper for 8 weeks, so I'm clean buzzing. Oh my gosh, buzzing. 8 weeks again. Michael got 6 weeks. You got 8 weeks. What are you guys doing for a living? How are you getting that much time off? It's amazing. I mean, I love it. And again, JT, the same thing that we just told to Michael. Like, it's amazing. You're going to have so much time to explore everything. 8 weeks, it's amazing. It's awesome. That's wonderful. Anyway, wonderful, amazing. 8 weeks. I mean, that is good. That is good. That is 2 months. Yeah. Oh man, you're gonna love that. All right, Mr. Faraday says, between Christchurch and Wellington, which one have warmer weather all time around? FY, I love warm weather. Definitely go for Wellington compared to Christchurch for warmer weather. But be aware that Wellington is very windy. It's actually one of the windiest city in the world. So
even when when the temperatures are warmer than Christchurch, because it's pretty much windy, you can feel the wind everywhere in Wellington. It often feels quite cold just because of the wind. So if you really love the warm weather, I would say go up north.
Go to Pahia.
Yeah, go to Pahia or something, or Whangarei or something like that. That's where you'll find the warmest weather in New Zealand.
So there is difference of temperature, but when it comes to what temperature feels like, like a lot of weather forecasts now says feels like that much temperature, where Wellington and Christchurch are very often on par. Okay, Desai Dennis said, New Zealand is good for bike ride solos. Can you tell me about roads, any specific roads for bike in New Zealand? Which month is the best for riding bikes? Okay, so we have a specific opinion on that. Now, riding bikes on roads in New Zealand is not that great because a lot of the roads are windy and a little bit small. So, you got to share like very small roads with cars. Now, if you want to just commute a little bit around Auckland and Wellington and Christchurch, they do more bike lanes now. So if that's what you're talking about, you'll be good with that. And if you're talking about mountain biking, New Zealand is exceptional for mountain biking. They have amazing places. They have great rides. There is a brand new great walk, which is a brand new track, which is dual use, which is both for mountain biking and for hiking, which is the Paparoa track. Is that correct? Yeah, Paparoa. Yeah. So it's exceptional. There's also the Timber Trail, which is really fantastic, and there's a ton of great places to do mountain biking. I just think that traveling in New Zealand around the country by bike is a little bit dangerous, a little bit tedious, and not that great. So I will actually plan my trip to have amazing bike rides along the way, but not make that as my main source of transportation.
Yeah, and I know like the term mountain biking can be a little bit sort of scary for people that don't necessarily want to do anything crazy like
so just watch our video and you'll see it's not really that bad.
So mountain biking in New Zealand is more of a term used for just biking off the roads, really. But there's also there's multi-day bike trails. I'm thinking of the Central or Otago Central Rail Trail, for instance, which is like grade 1 trail, meaning that it's pretty much flat, wide sort of gravel roads the whole way, and it's pretty much only used by cyclists. So you can do like multi-day trips, and there's certainly a lot of multi-day bike trails which are easygoing, and that will give you a really cool experience. And it's always a lot more fun to be away from traffic as well. I feel when you're doing bike rides, you want to be able to access something that's a bit more wild and a bit more, if you can get there by car, maybe it's not as fun, but if you can achieve getting, there's probably more reason to go and do that. So yeah. So in short, yeah, there's loads of bike trails around New Zealand, but as Robin says, I probably would avoid cycling on the roads. And also New Zealand drivers are not really well educated in sort of, driving on the roads when cyclists are around compared to how they would be in Europe. They usually don't leave you enough space, or, I mean, when my dad came to visit in New Zealand, and he was cycling on one of the roads and literally kept getting clipped on the shoulder by wing mirrors from people's cars. So, it's like, and that was just like him being lucky. So yeah, I would definitely avoid cycling, cycling across New Zealand, like on the roads. I would say that would be avoided. Anyway, moving on.
All right. So Christina Holden, that's the Canadian lady, says, "Lol, we have backpack that came with Canadian flag patches."
Oh,
they actually came with it. Oh, that's so funny. It's true. Lots of people have said that they get treated better when locals see they are Canadians in many countries. I don't think it's really the case in New Zealand. No. Everybody gets treated well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just funny to see that Canadians always have a Canadian
I suppose that explains it, because I always wondered why Canadians always...
Oh, they just really don't want to be American.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what every Canadian always told me. They say, we don't want people to think that we're American. That's what they always told me that.
Right, okay. Makes sense now.
Duan Gresh says, any idea on the availability of land for rent in the suburbs of Auckland for plumbed and grid-connected tiny homes? When I looked up for bare land, couldn't get much information on the renting site. I don't think you can rent land to put a home on it. They don't really let you do that. I think you have to buy land and then you can put a home on it, or if you rent land, you either farm it or do something else with it. But I don't think they let you. Most of the land for rent doesn't have the connectability, I think, but again, it's not really something about traveling, so we don't know much about that.
Yeah, just to make it clear that this is a channel about traveling in New Zealand. So in terms of setting up a home here, renting land, that sort of thing, it's not really our expertise. So this probably isn't the best place to ask that question. But for some reason, a lot of people have been coming onto the live chat recently to ask us about tiny homes. So I'm wondering, are we appearing in people's searches for tiny homes? Like
how?
Yeah, how, if you can let us know, how come basically what makes you want to ask us about your tiny home dreams? Why us?
Okay, Wayne Wall says that he doesn't think there is much of a difference between Christchurch and Wellington, maybe 1 or 2 degrees, but it's windy Wellington, so possibly colder. Yeah, so that's basically what we're saying.
Yeah.
Michael says, my boss allowed me 3 weeks of vacation plus 4 weeks of overtime. That is pretty awesome.
Nice.
That is a nice boss. Bring him back like a Kiwi gift. And we have some videos about the best Kiwi gift. One of them is actually Kiwi bird poop. It's chocolate, but it's that. So bring that to your boss. Okay, so Christina Holden says, my husband figures you won't have a videos for this. Oh, that's a challenge, is it?
Okay.
Where is the best place to buy an oilskin hat in Queenstown or any other place? Oilskin hat is more like a Canadian, Australian thing. So there is, it's not necessarily like a mega New Zealand thing to do. But I have actually been surprised about Ashburton. They have a hunting and fishing and an outdoor store. And both of them had a decent collection of oilskin hats. So Ashburton is not too far from Christchurch. So Ashburton, yeah.
Yeah.
Ashburton, not too far from Christchurch. I found that. Yeah, Ashburton. So it's not too far from Christchurch, and there was quite a lot of oilskin hats. So I think it's probably because there is a hat maker nearby, I think, from the local legends or whatever we had. So Ashburton, Christchurch will have a decent selection there. But otherwise, you will find those kind of things in hunting and fishing stores. So it's called Hunting and Fishing. That's actually the name of the chain of the stores. You'll be able to find that in quite a few places, but it's more of an Australian thing, I think. So it's not going to be the super popular thing to find here. But you were right. Your husband was right. You can pat him on the back. We did not have a video about finding oilskin hats in New Zealand. It is a unique question, I have to say.
Yeah.
But we still have an answer for you. Why in the world was asking what is an oilskin hat. So it's kind of a leather hat, but it's waterproof. So it's, I don't know, it has some chemicals on it. So that's what it is. It's Australian, I think. Christina says oilskin hat is an outback hat or leather hat that has been treated so it's waterproof. What you just say, I get my kangaroo skin. I hate from him, but I've been wearing it for years. I've seen them in souvenir shops in Australia, but not in New Zealand. I mostly buy mine online. Yeah, Y2J actually has an oilskin hat look. Like it does look like a outback guy. So yeah. He's probably the one.
He's the person to go to for all your oilskin hat needs.
Yeah, Y2J, you in Christchurch as well. Head to Ashburton and go check out the stores over there. Tell us if the oilskin hat offering is up to par, because I'm pretty sure it is. Michael says, question regarding reservation of power site in holiday parks. In what area I need reservation and how much time before? Michael, it will depend when you travel in New Zealand. So if you're on a high season in summer, you kind of want to book between 2 to 3 weeks in advance, because it gets really, really fully booked, because you both have the tourists. A lot of them are traveling in camper van, but also it's a big part of the New Zealand culture to travel in holiday park and travel like that. So if you're doing summer in New Zealand, which is Laura?
It is between
December, January, and February. She blanked. So if you are planning on traveling during those months, then you may want to actually book that. Outside of those months, you're not necessarily going to need to book, especially powered site. I think you're going to be okay. So maybe give it like a day or two in advance, and you should be okay. You will have much more flexibility if you're not traveling in summer. Anything to add on that? You're good. Juan, do you want to read those questions so I can drink some water?
Sure. Okay, so Juan asked, no, I just asked you because you're the only people in New Zealand who have a connection to, and since you travel often, I thought maybe you would have researched it while there as an option.
We haven't. We really haven't research like tiny home or anything like that. We used to travel. So you saw New Zealand's biggest gap here. We traveled in the camper van, so then you can do a bit of a mix of freedom camping in the proper places and everything, or go to holiday park. And we genuinely prefer holiday park because you get all the facilities and everything. And then now we actually travel by car. We have a pretty large car, so if there is anytime there's a need, we have a blower bed on the back and we can sleep there, or we stay in holiday park or hostels or hotels or those kind of places. Just because also with what we do, right, we need to try a lot of accommodation places to be able to review them and put them on nzpocketguide.com and tell you what we think of them. So most of the time we actually try different accommodation providers. So we never really thought of that at all.
No, I think now on Airbnb, for instance, there are a lot of tiny homes slowly sort of cropping up on Airbnb. I know definitely around the Hawke's Bay area, tiny homes is a bit of a
Make sure you read the reviews on Airbnb.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fad over there. So I mean, you can definitely, maybe when you're traveling around New Zealand and you want to do a bit of research, it might be good to stay in one of those Airbnb tiny homes and just ask the hosts a bit about like, how did you manage to get this set up? But most of the time it's usually like a lot of people own land because their families had the land for generations, and it's I mean, usually you do have to buy land.
You will have to buy it. I don't see any other way around.
Yeah, we haven't seen much on land just to rent or.
Deciding is say, you guys have any plans for India for traveling? Maybe you guys loved it and some good food, or maybe eating something new, testing food. We haven't been to India. We do have quite a lot of Indian friends which are trying to take us to India for weddings and places like that. So yeah, we definitely want to go to India. It looks like an absolutely fantastic place to visit. So maybe just it's going to be more something like personal, as for traveling and doing travel guide and kind of filming and all that, we do most of the South Pacific Islands. So we also have a website for Fiji. We also have a website for Tonga. We also have a website for Niue. And we have a couple of more websites coming out next year. And also we have this website for New Zealand. So I think we covered, because India is pretty big as well. So, doing a travel guide.
Might take us a few years
exactly.
to get through.
So, we rather kind of stick to what we know. We know this area of the world. We know this part of the world, and we know what we do. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But on the personal level, we may check out India. Christina Holden said, thank you again. You're very welcome, Christina and husband. Why in the world says I got tickets online for Bluff Oyster Festival, so should be going. Have you guys been? Have we been to Oyster Festival? No, we haven't been to Bluff. Yes, we ate oysters in Bluff. Yes, but we haven't been for the Oyster Festival. I heard it's quite a feat. So we're looking forward to seeing your video about it, Y2J.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you tell us when the video is out.
We remember seeing your video for the Wild Foods Festival in Hokitika. Yeah. So hope you get some tasty treats. Maybe something a bit nicer than what you ate there.
Yeah, maybe something that actually tastes good. So while we keep going through the comments, guys, just remember we only have about 10 more minutes with you. So if you have some questions, make sure to put them in, or you have to wait a whole week. So Why in the World says ticket initially sold out, but I got them for a fair price on Trade Me. Oh, that's good. Wow, tickets sold out. That's pretty awesome.
And just so you know what Trade Me is, guys, Trade Me is kind of like the New Zealand version of eBay. Yeah. So it's like an auctioning website, but they do have, you can buy it now on a lot of items as well. So just to let you know what Trade Me is all about.
Yeah. Mr. Faraday says, got to go, laters. P.S. Everyone hit the like button for NZ Pocket Guide. Awesome and informative content about New Zealand and plenty of emojis. Yeah, cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you guys want to hit like, it's a free way for you guys to say thank you for all our hard work. And it actually helps YouTube recommend our videos and our content to more people. So it's quite a good thing. So yeah, please do that. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Why in the world say, oh God, the Hokitika Wild Food Festival. I don't think I'll go again. The food tasted terrible. Lol. So if you guys don't know what is the Hokitika Wild Food Festival, what is it?
It's basically, a festival which has some pretty crazy foods. Things that you probably wouldn't think are edible or you should be eating. They basically have stalls up for trying all this different kinds of crazy food.
Boar testicles.
Yeah, I think they have like,
I'm like, what?
A lot of like grubs, like those big white grubs, like earth bugs and things like that. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of like really interesting things. So if you ever wanted to try eating something weird and crazy, then the Hokitika Wild Food Festival is probably the place to go and do that.
You know, like on the TV show in the US called Survivor, when they get to eat like weird stuff, well, basically an entire festival about people loving that part of the show, which is eating weird stuff. And that's basically what it is. But there is actually quite a lot of like really quirky kind of festivals around New Zealand. There is quite a few steampunk festivals. There is a steampunk festival in Oamaru, which we have a video about that. One of the weird festival days.
Well, also in Oamaru, they have the Victoria Fete, however you pronounce Fete. So like all the locals and also people from nearby towns all dress up in Victorian clothes and sort of pretend they're from the Victorian era for the day, which is pretty crazy, pretty cool. What else? There's loads of different festivals. There's in Napier, they have the Art Deco Festival, because the city is all its architecture is sort of Art Deco inspired architecture. Yeah. So people sort of dress up like they're from the, I think, is it 60s, the Art Deco or something?
I would call it the Art Deco era.
The Art Deco era. So they have all their vintage clothing. They go around in vintage cars and just have fun doing that sort of thing. Yeah.
All right. So Desai says, thanks a lot for answering my question, guys. Here is in India, it's 1:20 a.m. Ooh, see you soon. Good night.
Yeah.
Man, that is late. Love to watch your video. Like, share, subscription, your channel. I tell all my contacts. Can you try Facebook Live? We actually did try Facebook Live, and that didn't work very well for us.
No.
People were not watching it, and also the quality was bad. The audio was terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just not that great. But if you guys really want us to do some Facebook Live, just keep on telling us, and the more we hear about it, the more we're going to want to try it again. But so far, YouTube seems like a comfortable place for us.
Yeah.
And things still change way too much for my taste, but from the creator kind of side. But you can still adapt, and I think it's easier.
Yeah.
Hiroshi says, any big rock festival in New Zealand or Australia? I don't know rock festival is, to be honest. A rock festival.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking.
Rock on.
I was like, big rock. I just
all
thought,
right,
like, what is big rock?
Granddad.
Oh my lord, that was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, there's festivals in New Zealand. I think do a whole range of music, not just rock. So some of the biggest festivals I think in New Zealand are, for instance, Rhythm and Vines, which happens on New Year's Eve. I think it's around a 3-day festival over the New Year's period, and they have a whole bunch of a lineup of all sorts of artists, including rock, including bands, but also some other.
I don't think
genres.
there's a dedicated rock festival, but there's plenty of festival that will have rock music in there. Why in the world do they still do the big day out in Auckland? Yeah, that wasn't just rock, the big day out though. Y2J, there was a lot of different. I haven't heard about the big day out in a while. Actually, it used to be really big. So there used to be these things called the big day out. I'm actually going to Google it right now to see if they're still doing it. But it used to be one of the biggest festivals. I've been there a couple of times actually.
In Auckland, they still do the sort of they do like the summer where like every weekend or something they do like a gig in a park somewhere. They do like a free gig in the park every weekend, or they do like a cinema like at Silo Park, which is pretty much in the city centre. They do like free movie screenings on one of the like projected onto one of the silos, which I think they do every Friday or Saturday. But these sort of festivals obviously tend to be more in summer. So if you're looking for festivals in New Zealand, they kind of start happening around March and sort of die down as you get towards like June time. Yeah.
So the big day out, Y2J, if you want to know, the last one was in 2014. So that's been 6 years that hasn't been out. So I think actually I was in the last one. That's crazy. Anyway, I didn't know that was over. But it stopped in 2014. Oh, that's what Y2J says. It stopped in 2014 in Auckland. And Hero is making fun of me. Yes, sometimes when you read the comments, right, you guys are putting comments, and believe it or not, actually, even with the big screen I have right here, it's actually quite small. So you end up reading really quickly, and you just don't necessarily take in. You read the question, and then, while you're reading it, you take it in. And when I read Big Rock, it's like, what is maybe Big Rock was the name of a festival or something else. It just was like, what? But yeah. All right, guys. So thank you very much for watching this video. We are here every single week to answer all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. But if you guys can't make it to, which I'm going to go over in a minute, you can leave that as a comment. Leave your question as a comment in any of our video, and we put them up from there, and we just put them literally, like we print them, and we are ready to give you answers. For example, Hero, he left us a question about 3 days itinerary in every region, and we'll cover that probably next week. Sometimes it takes a few weeks to get to there, but so you can leave your question in any of the comments of any of our videos. And otherwise, you join us every Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. Now, Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time, it is probably Saturday on your side of the world. If you're in the UK, it's at 7 p.m. on the Saturday. If you're in France, it's at 8 p.m. or 20h à l'heure du journal. If you're in the USA, it's on Saturday at 2 p.m. EST or 11 a.m. PST. And if you're in Canada, it's probably around the same times, just a little bit more north. For Christina and her husband. If you are in India, now we are going to be on Sunday, and it's 12:30 a.m. We're very sorry. I know it's very early. And if you are in Australia and just planning on hopping over the ditch and have some travel questions for us, it's at 6 a.m. on a Sunday. So you'll have to cure your hangover with the lovely sound of our voice.
Probably not a good hangover cure.
Not a good hangover cure. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Sergey from Russia. Sergey, greetings from Russia. Greetings, Sergey. Sorry, you just got up right at the end. Tolyatu. Sergey Tolyatu. Wow, I'll probably destroy your name, Sergey, but
probably better than I could have done.
I hope you enjoyed that.
And on that note,
I destroyed the name of Sergey, and I'm very sorry. Everybody have a good day, and we see you next week. Bye-bye, Why in the World. Bye-bye, Hero. Bye-bye, Desai. Bye-bye, Sergey. Bye-bye, Christina. Bye-bye, Stone Skin, Duan, Michael. Everybody.
JT.
Yeah, Stone Skin, JT.
Michael.
Yeah, Baby Burns, NZ. Extreme Tolota, Stone Skin Play, Christine. Thank you very much, guys, and have a lovely Sunday.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.